some of our family members. Now, you may have noticed earlier that when I started discussing the economic challenges, as we were asked to do tonight to talk about the economic vision that we had for our state and workforce development, you may have remembered that I mentioned our educational challenges. Now, why is that? Because in my experience as a public policy maker and also as an educator, I currently teach at Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, Tennessee. I have become to realize that those two things, education, economic development, workforce development, they are simply unquestionably linked together. We cannot overlook the fact that the number one factor in surveys done of employers that come to our state, the number one factor in where to locate a business is an employable, educated workforce. Number one factor. So a year ago, when an economic development opportunity for the state presented itself, when I was at Austin Peay State University after I had left the governor's office and after I had left the legislature, I had the opportunity to work with two companies from Michigan, Dow Corning Corporation and Hemlock Semiconductor Corporation, who are both committed to making solar energy an affordable and sustainable option. Both of these two companies, shockingly, were interested in starting major operational facilities in Clarksville, Tennessee, where I lived. Now, it was no small task as we began this challenge. You know, we were up against cities and towns, not just from the United States, but from around the world. So we were vying for the opportunity to bring this dynamic company that would create jobs and in the long run improve our city and our state as a whole. And we knew the decision would come down to the workforce. Not just the local workforce in Clarksville, Tennessee, not just the local workforce in Montgomery County, but the workforce from across the state of Tennessee. Now, as all of you know, cities and states can offer tax incentives. They can offer a laundry list of other perks to try to get companies to come to our state. But without an educated and skilled workforce, their efforts will be futile. So we at Austin Peay realized that we were going to have to do something else. We were going to have to retrain our workers to meet the demands of the global economy. You know, I had no doubt that the people of Clarksville, that the people of Montgomery County, that the people of the state of Tennessee were up to the task. They just needed a launching pad. So I said to the people at Austin Peay, I said to the governor, I said to the people all across the state, I said to our local economic development folks and our elected officials, we can't let this be just like the same story that's happened too many times. So we began to work very closely with Governor Bredesen, with Commissioner Kisber at the State Economic and Development Commission. We began to work with all of the folks within our local government and other folks from across the state of Tennessee to realize this dream. And how did we do it? We developed a new program in chemical engineering technology, a 2-year degree at Austin Peay State University, because we realized that's what this employer needed. We then found a site for the Hemlock Semiconductor Corporation plant close to campus, so that the location would give the students a new degree program, but it would give them the training right in the backyard of this new company. And they would be ready to go and hit the ground running when they got out of school. And guess what? All of this hard work paid off, and Clarksville was chosen as the site for the $1.2 billion Hemlock Semiconductor Corporation plant. Now, what's great about this is that it will immediately start out with 500 to 800 jobs, not just for people in Clarksville, but for people all across the state of Tennessee. Not for people from other states, but for Tennesseans right here. And it will also provide a lot of opportunities for the students at Austin Peay who will have the opportunity to train for the jobs of the future in the new chemical engineering technology facility that went into development in July. Now, it's innovation like this that we need in Tennessee to create jobs. It's thinking outside the box that we need like this to bring those kind of companies to Tennessee, to provide jobs in the new economy. So I think we have to think creatively. We have to draw upon the resources of academia, of government, and of the private sector, and we can create an economic development model that can be replicated all across Tennessee to attract other high-growth industries right here to our state. And you know, we know that this works because you, right here in Chattanooga, have seen it. You have been involved in the same type of economic development model right here with the new plant for Volkswagen and the cooperation between the educational institutions right here in Chattanooga, so you know that this type of economic development model works. Now, if I am fortunate enough to be elected your governor, I intend to bring together the business sector and the educational community to create jobs and provide Tennesseans with the opportunity to provide for their families. Now, I intend to soon be releasing a detailed plan called Tennessee Works. It's an economic blueprint that outlines how we can create jobs for Tennessee, how we can make this Hemlock model, this Hemlock semiconductor model, work all across the state of Tennessee, how we can implement the key elements of moving this state forward by linking educational excellence with economic development. Now, this plan is going to include things like job training, because we know how important that is. You know how important that is right here at Volkswagen in Chattanooga. Vocational excellence. We know how important that is too. Access to capital, microloans, state-of-the-art transportation and infrastructure, and much, much more. Now, we will introduce these plans in a creative and efficient way because you and I know that any economic plan that depends solely on an increase in revenue or radical new investments isn't realistic and it isn't going to work in today's economy in Tennessee. But any smart business person will tell you that the jobs of tomorrow rely on the technology of tomorrow. You know, nearly 1/3 of the jobs in these growing careers can be pursued with vocational training at our public schools and in our community colleges and our technical institutes. That's why Tennessee needs an affordable higher education system with the ability to train our systems and our citizens to adapt and keep their jobs. As your next governor of Tennessee, I will focus on vocational programs that are proven to lead to a career upon graduation. The plan will be structured much like the chemical engineering program that I helped establish at Austin Peay State University. It will attract new business to the state while training our workforce for today's 21st century jobs. Companies that make these kind of educational investments in our communities are more likely to stay in Tennessee and continue to provide those jobs. So we need to keep our eye on the bottom line. We need to create these unique partnerships with the private sector so we can ensure this economic opportunities, short-term growth and the long-term investments. Now, it won't be easy. The challenges are tough, but we're Tennesseans. We've overcome much worse, and we can overcome this through hard work, shared sacrifice, and real leadership. My time is short, so let me leave you with one final thought. I'm not going to promise you that electing me governor will be just like waving that magic wand and all our problems will go away. We can't implement this kind of jobs program overnight. You know better, and so do I. But what I do promise you, each and every one of you here tonight, is that the values that taught me that leading means listening, the experience that led me onto my magnificent journey with a wonderful husband and 2 beautiful children will guide me every day in working as hard as humanly possible for you and for all of Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, we can afford nothing less. Thank you.